This is Julius. This was New Beginnings. See? Look at him. So, what does this, and this have to do in common? Stick around, and I'll show you. Alright, so this is basically just a quick and dirty. I actually have been looking for this press, the Lyman All-American 8, for several months now, and you know that there's a shortage on darn near everything. So basically what I'm doing is I'm replacing this press with that RCBS down there. Or sorry, I'm replacing that RCBS with this press here. So this is just a basic unboxing. In case you haven't seen what came inside one of these monster 30-pound boxes. Let's take a look, shall we? Instruction guide, okay. Alright, the handle's longer but thinner than the rock chucker, which honestly, I don't think anything's going to bend it anyway. And then the meat and the potatoes, right? So I believe this all here is the priming system, which I heard is not very good, but I'll try it anyway. And there's this beautiful monster here. Oh, it's heavy. Oh my God, is it heavy. So, the turret handle's down there. Basically what this is it's a revolving, manually operated turret. I could have went progressive, but for some reason I saw this and I thought, well, you know, I could put a lot of different calibers in here, and I generally reload in bulk. So I thought, nah, I'll probably just go this route in case I get fatigued and I skip a step and then I have to go back. I can just turn the turret by hand, do the operation I missed, go back to my business. This press originally came out, I believe, last year, and I know some people who got this for as low as $149. Yeah, you're not going to get that for $149 anymore. Well, I'm going to have to stitch this together because I ran out of SD card space. So anyway, let me pick up where I left off. I believe this is all the priming materials here, which I heard isn't the greatest, but I'll give it a shot anyway. This down here would be the turret handle here. And there's the meat and potatoes. Now, I've ordered a pretty trick little primer catching system that'll clip on here. That'll dump it off to the right, and there's a hose just like a Lee has, and it's going to go into my Tasmanian Devil cup where I keep all the primers. But let me get this all installed into my bench, and then we'll carry on from there, and I'll give you general thoughts about this. Sit tight. Alright, so there it is, fully installed. I've got some pretty strange dies in here, as you probably noticed. So this turret here is going to be for 6.5 Carcano and 7.5 Swiss and 9mm Parabellum, because strangely enough these are the three calibers I've been reloading the most lately. So for my first turret, that's what I'm getting for these, and then as finances and needs arise, I'll buy more of these turrets. These plates are about $45, and I found a company that makes a pretty nice stand where you can stack them on top of each other on the corner of your bench, like over there, or in my case probably over here. But I'm pretty happy with the turnout. A couple of things I'd like to note. I did use a Lee bench plate kit, but I used the steel plate. The wooden plate that these come with typically jump out of these little feet here. and I've already broken one bench plate trying to get the screws gorilla tight on the wood, and I just bought a whole new plate kit so I can get another steel plate. I ended up having to drill new holes in this plate to get the 3 bolts. So there's one here, and around here. So over here, sorry. So the thing is this is a wider footprint than an RCBS rock chucker. So I just ended up having to drill 3 new holes in the original bench plate kit. But this is the better way to do it because this is made to bite into the steel plate, and this thing is rock solid, like it's not going anywhere. So that install was pretty easy, just drilling the holes and getting everything in there. That's all it took. As for the priming system, I've heard horror stories about these. Mine came with a modification for the loading and the feeding mechanism, and it came with like a guide rod so you can watch it drop down as you keep feeding these things in. Biggest complaint was that this kind of jiggles its way in, and I would have to agree, it is pretty jiggly. Also, a thing to note is once you feed the primer in, well, let me raise this here for a second. Once you feed a primer in, like so, then you would just feed it down like you normally do on like a Lee or an RCBS. I think what I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm not going to use the feed tube, not right away at least. I'm kind of old-fashioned, so I'll just probably stick one in there just before I push it in, and then just hold it while I'm working the lever. This is definitely not the best system, but it is robust. I will give it that. This is actually quite robust. It's not going anywhere. It's got 3 5/32 Allen bolts that hold it in, and this actually threads in, retains the spring. I guess my only other complaint is to get the feeding primer arm out. The primer arm out. There's a set screw in the front, so they give you a very tiny Allen wrench, and then basically there's a flat spot in this, so you just feed it down, tighten it down with the Allen bolt in there. I suspect you don't have to pull it all the way out. You just turn it out like once or twice, and it gets loose enough to pull this thing out, and you swap it out for the large pistol or the small pistol or rifle, or you know how it works. I mean, if you've seen these videos, you know exactly how these work. So as for this, the reason I chose it was because I tend to load in bulk. Like for instance, 9mm, I tend to run about 1,500 to 2,500 at a time. Sometimes I get a little preoccupied, so it's like I'll sit there and I'll run this into the resizing die, and then I would have to eventually switch over to a bullet seating die, and sometimes when I get to this stage I can't seat the bullet because I didn't bell the case, so then I would have to like go back to the next step, which means I have to take this back apart and put everything back together. So with this I can just go ahead and decap and resize, and then turn it, and then bell the case. Well, not for Carcano, obviously. Let me go back to 9mm. I guess this would make more sense. So if I'm at 9mm, right here, then I would run this in through. I would decap and resize, and then I would go to the next stage, and then I would bell the case, obviously, through here, and then powder charge it over on my perfect powder measure, and then I would go to the next stage, and then I would do the bullet seating and crimping, right? Well, sometimes I would forget, or I would skip one. I would get to this stage and realize, wait, I forgot to bell the case, which would make me have to stop everything I was doing, take out the one die because I had a single stage press. You've seen it in my other videos. And then I had to go back and put that other one back in just to do that one piece of brass, and then put the whole thing back together and start over. So instead, now I can just go, oh, wait, I messed up. Here, let me just back up one and then go back to this stage. So these will all stay in there. They'll say preset, and the only thing I have to do with the original boxes for the dies is just put the shell holders in there. So ultimately, if you have one of Lee's shell holder boxes where it comes with all of them, then you could take all your reloading dies, put them up here, and then you don't even need the shell holders for the original kit. You could just put all these boxes into storage or whatever, because you have that one tray that has all of them in there. I do have that somewhere over there. But anyway, yeah, mine came from MidwayUSA. They just got them back in stock. I got the notification as of the 3rd of September. This is the 5th today when I'm filming this. Got it in 2 days. That's perfectly fine. It's a 30-pound package, so just, you know, be nice to your UPS guy. And yeah, they're 250 bucks, I think, after shipping, some right around there. I don't know, if you use the Honey app, you sometimes get a break. I got a couple of breaks with coupon codes and whatnot. So anyway, I guess there's really not a whole lot to show. I think the only thing I'll probably do to this as a modification is I may add an LED light somewhere up in here, just kind of like one of those stick-on ones. That way I can just light up this whole area, and that's really it. I mean, the throw is nice because this lever is much bigger than the rock chucker in terms of length, but it's not quite as thick, so that may be an issue for you, but not for me, because the rock chucker was overkill for just about everything I do anyway. So this here, Lyman brass smith all-American 8 turret press. I know there's not a ton of videos on these. I just wanted to give you like the basic rundown. But yeah, I'm going to be sitting down to 6.5 Carcano here. Be making some of these. I'm going to use my favorite case lube, which took me over a year to get because I kept trying to find it locally, and I just ended up finally buying it online from Dylan directly. This stuff is amazing, and I got to thank Jiu-Jitsu 2000 for recommending this stuff. It's got 2 ingredients and no waste, and it's a pump spray. You just basically spray it on top of your brass there, shake it around a bit, wait 2 minutes, and off you go. So the 2 ingredients are isopropyl alcohol and lanolin, and you just spray it on. The isopropyl alcohol evaporates, leaves the lanolin behind. The more you play with the cases, the softer your hands get, so it's kind of good for your skin, and off you go. So if you're looking for something like this, this beats that paste crap any day of the week. I mean, fight me on that. Fight me. This is better than all of it. Anyway, this is your review. This was my unboxing and install. This is my little tiny workbench. If you want to know more about this bench, check out my very first YouTube video called Reloading in Tight Spaces. You'll find it way back in the original uploads. If you like what you see, hit the old like button. And if you want updates, just share this, subscribe, tell your friends, tell anybody. And we'll see you next time. Later.